Welcome to Nerdy and Flirty, a podcast designed to help you create a life that you love. It's nerdy with science-backed information, and it's flirty. It's fun, it's quick, it's straight to the point. My name is Cass, and welcome back to the podcast. Happy Monday and happy June. It's officially June, which is crazy. I cannot believe the summer is already here. I'm super excited about it. I'm super pumped about the summer, and that is exactly why we're doing this summer bucket list episode. Today, I want to share with you what's on my summer bucket list to give you some inspiration, some ideas for your summer, because let's face it, when's the last time you made yourself a bucket list, like a colorful pen poster board bucket list? I used to do this every single year religiously when I was younger, and then we kind of just stop as we get older, but I want to bring it back. Why did we ever stop making ourselves bucket lists? I feel like when I was a kid and I would make my bucket list, I was so much more motivated to do things every single day because I wanted to just cross everything off, and then we kind of just stopped doing that, and I don't know why. So we're doing it again. We're bringing back the summer bucket list because summer is here. I feel like it's always a good time to figure out a list for yourself of things that you want to accomplish, like a goal setting, vision board type of ideal. It doesn't have to be big things. It can be super small things that you want to do, but I think it's really fun and it gives you some direction for the summer. I am super pumped for this summer specifically because this is my first year teaching. So I have off this summer. I have 8 to 10 weeks off this summer and I'm very excited about it. But that's exactly why I wanted to make a bucket list, because if I just have all this time off, I want to have some kind of focus or direction on how I'm spending my time. And I want to make sure I'm spending my time wisely. Now, even if you're super busy and you're in school or you're working full time still, I think it's still a great time to make a bucket list because it gives you something fun to look forward to on the weekends, on your days off. It's so easy to just stay in the same routine, especially if you work the same job all year. But I really encourage you to spend your weekends, your days off, things like that, doing things you really want to do because it's summer, baby. And in summer, we can do a lot more. Sun's out, we're getting more vitamin D, we're thawing out, and I feel thawed out now. My main focus for this summer is just my overall well-being. I really just want to cater to any needs that I have in any dimension of wellness that might be lacking. I really want to chase any inner passions I have and just chase after anything that I feel like I need to do that's going to improve my well-being, from physical to mental to emotional, social, all of it. I have specific things that I really want to accomplish this summer, but all of them just tie back to that goal of really catering to my overall well-being and trying to optimize as much as I can. Obviously, you can change these things around to fit your own interests and your own needs. That's why I'm sharing mine, and I would love if you told me yours, because this summer is going to be very different for me than what I'm used to because of my ACL. One of my biggest priorities is really just doing my physical therapy and trying to heal as much as possible. Right now, I'm 8 weeks post-op, and everything's been going really good, really smoothly, but I'm still a long way to go before I'm back at my previous activity level. Like, for example, I went to Florida last weekend and I couldn't swim the way that I normally swim. I was kind of just floating around in the ocean because I can't kick yet. Like, kicking is one of those things that I'm not allowed to do. And so that was weird for me, like to be in a body of water, not able to just swim around like I normally do. I have to kind of come to terms with that and come to peace about that because I'm used to just doing whatever I want. I'm used to jumping off the diving boards and being like this active little run around kind of girl. And I can't do that right now. And it is what it is. But that's also why I really wanted to make this bucket list for myself, because there's plenty of things that I can do and I really enjoy that aren't revolving around my fitness or my activity. So it's a nice little challenge for me to figure out things that I really enjoy that aren't revolved around fitness. Now, my biggest thing with this is really focusing on my physical therapy. Like I said, I've been going consistently. I've never missed a day. And I think over the summer, I'm probably going to go even more, like maybe 3 or 4 times a week. And I still do everything on my own as well, just to really try to heal my ACL. I'm going to have more time. So that's like my biggest thing. I really want to build up the strength. I really want to do everything I need to do so that I'm ready to go when this is all over. And for the people that have asked me, the recovery is going really well. I'm definitely progressing, but it's just a slow progress. Like, it's a slow process to get back to the strength that I was at before. I just started doing baby squats and leg press, but I'm at like a quarter of the weight that I normally can do. But the weight's going up and I'm getting stronger, and it just takes time, and I'm okay with that. One of the first categories that I knew I wanted in my bucket list was travel. Because I have this full summer off, I knew that travel was one of the things that I needed to prioritize, whether it was a road trip nearby or a big trip somewhere. I just knew that I wanted to go to new places. And I realized this recently because I've been thinking about what are things that make me feel the most myself, and travel is definitely one of them. When I was in college, I went all over the place, and that's kind of where all of this started. And I would go to a new place pretty much every single month. Sometimes it was close, sometimes it was other countries. It really didn't matter. I just enjoyed it every single time. And obviously, after you graduate, things change and you don't have that same flexibility. But I realized that that was something that I've been missing for the past few years now that I'm post-grad. And I really want to start incorporating that back into my life. Over the past year, I've definitely gone on trips, but I haven't gone on as many as I would have liked. I think that's for a few reasons. One, because I just didn't realize how much I prioritized travel until I stopped prioritizing it, and then I realized something's missing in my life. But also, I've been waiting for other people to do it with me. And I realized recently that I'm done doing that. If I want to do something and my friends either don't want to or can't, or my boyfriend can't or doesn't want to, my family can't or doesn't want to, why am I gonna not do something just because no one else can go with me? And I feel like for the past year or so, I've been kind of letting that control what I do and what I don't. And recently I was just like, why am I doing that? I'm independent. I can do things by myself. I've done it before. I've done solo trips. Like, why am I waiting for someone else to go with me when I can just do things by myself? Of course, if my friends are free and they want to go, or my boyfriend's free and wants to go, like, I'm gonna go. That would be awesome. But if there's a weekend where I'm free and I want to go see this place and no one wants to go or no one can go, why don't I just go? And I think that goes for anything in your life that you want to do, whether it's a road trip, whether it's a travel trip, or even just a solo date, something that you want to do by yourself. If there's something that you really want to do and you don't have friends that like that, or you don't have a partner that wants to do it with you, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That doesn't make them a bad friend. It doesn't make them a bad partner. It just means that they're busy or they don't have the same exact interests as you. I think you should still do the things that you want to do. That's like for any kind of goal or anything that you want to do in your life. Don't wait for other people to do it with you. Do it by yourself if no one else can go. And that's the first thing for travel for me, is when I was figuring out my summer bucket list, I knew one of the things has to be a solo trip. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna go yet, but I do know that I'm going on a solo trip this summer, whether it's a road trip somewhere, probably driving distance that I can rent an Airbnb for a night or two, somewhere that I've been dying to go, a little city, explore, meet some locals, and come home. That sounds like so much fun to me, and I really want to do that. And I think it will rekindle this little traveler that I have inside me that I've kind of kept a little, not active. So I want to activate that back. So a solo trip is definitely in the works, but then I also have some other fun trips planned out just to rekindle this travel bug that I have. One of them is a family trip. We typically do a family trip, and this year we're going to Costa Rica, which I'm very excited about. I've been before, but my family hasn't, so I think they're gonna love it. And also, we're going to a part that I haven't been before, so I'm really, really excited to go back and just go to Costa Rica and see it with my family. It's gonna be a blast, so that is definitely gonna itch my travel bug. And then I want to do a friend trip of some kind, probably with my friends from college. We've been talking about it. I just went down to visit them last weekend, and we've been talking about how we have to do something this summer. And usually when we say we're going to do something, we do. So I don't know if they're going to come to Jersey, or if I'm going to go somewhere with them, or if we're going to go somewhere else. I don't know where we're going, but I definitely want to do a friend trip. And then I also want to do a road trip or outdoor kind of trip at some point this summer. I was thinking Maine and doing like a hiking kind of trip, but that might not happen now because I've been really thinking about it. And with my ACL, I'd rather save that hiking for when I can actually do the harder hikes, because I really like hiking and I really like walking around and seeing the mountains. And I would hate to go to Maine and not be able to do anything because I can't fully hike yet. So that might have to get pushed off to next summer, but I still want to do some kind of outdoorsy trip, somewhere where I'm outside in nature, in the elements, limited self-service, things like that. That would be a literal dream. I'm either going to go with my friends or with my mom. We were talking about it, or I might even just do something by myself again. But those are kind of the vibes for the travel excursions that I want to do. I just want to explore. I really just want to explore. I'm very lucky that I have all summer off as a teacher, so why not embrace it and use it to my advantage? But even if you're not a teacher and you have to work all summer, or you're in school or whatever, use the weekends. That's a goal that I have for the school year too, is starting to use my weekends as if they're mini vacations and actually use them and go somewhere. Even if I go somewhere and spend one night somewhere or do a day trip somewhere, I feel like it's very easy to get into the routine, and I'm this kind of person too, where I spend my weekends just preparing for the week every single week, and that gets really redundant. That gets old after a while, and you start to feel like, oh, I don't have any passion for life right now. And you realize it's because you haven't done anything that kind of scratches that itch that you have to go see the world. I think it's so easy to stay in your routine of going to work and then spending your weekends preparing for work again, where you just do the laundry and you clean up and you do all these different things and go grocery shopping. And of course, all of those things need to get done, and we always get them done. Don't let that run your life. Those things will get done when they get done. It's really important to also see the world and do everything that you want to do. There are also so many hacks to traveling cheaply and seeing the world on a budget. First of all, use your resources. If you know people that live in other areas, it is way cheaper if you can go visit them and stay with them. That's what me and my friends from college do. We always just go visit each other and stay with each other, and that saves a ton of money, obviously, because we don't have to pay for a place to live. But also, there are so many websites out there now where you can find cheap accommodations, cheap flights, cheap travel, and really just stay within your budget. You can definitely travel and see the world without breaking your bank. Sometimes it takes more planning initially, but if you're watching the flights and watching the numbers and you're flexible with the times, you can travel really cheaply. And honestly, that's one of my favorite ways to travel, is traveling very cheaply, budget friendly, staying in a little quaint Airbnb that's pretty tiny, doesn't have a ton of things, but does what you need it to, and then just spending your time exploring in different cities and different areas. I personally don't need to stay in a fancy 5-star hotel to have a good time. And honestly, when it comes to traveling to new places, location matters more than anything, in my opinion. If you get an Airbnb that's walkable to all the places that you want to go, that's going to be way more valuable than having some fancy bathtub. So I try to be really practical with my traveling and where I'm staying. And if you go on Google Flights, you can see all the deals they're having all the time. You can go to random places for so cheap, $50 round trip. So look around and be open to going to different places, and you'll see some really great deals. You don't have to break the bank to travel, and if that's something you're passionate about, definitely you can figure out a way to do it affordably. So along with that is solo dates. And if my friends are available and they want to go with me, I'm totally open to that. But I just want to do things, and I think putting down solo dates is going to encourage me to do things whether someone's coming with me or not. The solo dates can be really anything from taking a pottery class or taking just a class in general. Going to the beach, that's such a normal thing to do by yourself. Of course, it's fun to do with friends, but it's also really fun to do by yourself. Go to the beach, bring a book, bring your journal, bring a paintbrush, whatever activity you want to do, and just sit out on the beach. I'm definitely going to be doing this a lot now that it's summer again. When I lived in Florida, I did this all the time. I would go to the sunrise, I would set up my hammock, I would read my book, do my journaling, set my goals, and it was just so peaceful to do. So I will definitely be doing that a lot this summer, and I'm very excited about it. Really, any kind of day trip is considered a solo date to me. So going to a new coffee shop, going to a bookstore, going thrifting, visiting a farmer's market, visiting a museum, a pop-up of some kind. Go on Facebook, you'll see tons of events in your area. I just want to do more of this, and I want to go regardless of who's going with me. If there's a farmer's market that I want to go to, I'm just going to go, whether anyone's going with me or not. This is gonna be a wholesome summer for me. I'm just telling you that right now. For solo dates, make a little list for yourself of things that you wanted to do or you like to do and go do them. They can be farmer's market, like I said, coffee shop, go on Google, find some things nearby, go on Facebook, see if there's events going on. Like, be really intentional about what you're doing and what you like to do and find opportunities to do that in your area. There are so many things going on all the time and we should start doing them regardless of who's going with us or not. Some other goals that I have are podcasts and social media related because, as you guys know, I post this podcast, and one of my bigger goals is to start figuring out how to do video podcasts. I don't know about you guys, but recently I've been watching the podcasts that I like to listen to rather than just listening to them. I'm not like watching them with all of my attention, but it is fun to play on the TV in the background or on my laptop somewhere while I'm doing other things. I don't know. I just know that lately I've preferred video podcasts, so I definitely want to get into that market because I think a lot of people are getting into video podcasts. Obviously, I'll still have the audio version, but I just want to figure it out. I really want to level up the podcast. I want to get better microphones. I want to set up a video setup, and I want to create Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts more consistently. I think having a video podcast will make that a lot easier because I can post snippets from the video. And if you follow the Instagram, you know that I'm like inconsistent with how often I post because it's just hard. Like, I know that I can figure it out, but people that are full-time influencers, it really is a job and it's a lot of work, and I want to figure it out while I'm off this summer because I think that would really help the podcast reach more people and reach a bigger audience. And also it just gives a different perspective when you're watching someone do the podcast, like watching my mannerisms and watching how someone says something. I think that makes a difference. So that's a really big goal that I have. And also just like leveling up little things. I want to start to figure out some music for the beginning and the end. That's a small goal that might not be relatable to you guys, but I do think that makes a podcast sound better. I just haven't found a sound that I like that's not copyrighted. So it's little things like that you need to know for a podcast. And then another thing in terms of podcast goals, I want to start hosting events in person in my local area related to the podcast topics. Now, hear me out because I've been thinking about this for a while and I would love some feedback if this sounds like something people would be interested in. But I want to host like a self-care Sunday monthly hangout where we all get together. We do a cute activity that's really wholesome, related to wellness of some kind, whether it's journaling, vision boards, workout class. Each month can be different theme and different kind of goal and perspective, but I think that would be so much fun, and it would also just be a way to build community around me. Something I love is hosting people, and I love having people over and talking about wellness practices and people sharing their skincare routine and their different wellness habits, and I like that. I really like that, and I like connecting with like-minded people. I think that it would be really, really fun to do, and I could get so creative with how we host it and where we host it. Now that it's summer, it's really easy because it's warm out. We can host it here, we can host it at the beach, we can do it anywhere, and I just think that would be really fun and a way to connect all different kinds of people that have similar interests and have similar hobbies. I don't know. Let me know what you think because I really want to do that, and I just want people to come. I want people to show up, all right? Okay, so that's goals for the podcast. Another goal that this is kind of unrelated to anyone else, but I'm taking classes for my alternate route for teaching. So if you didn't know, I didn't go to college to become a teacher, but because I have a college degree and the experience, I became a teacher as long as I do my alternate route. So I'm in a 2-year program, and it's just graduate level classes on the side while I'm working, and they kind of just observe me and they make sure that I'm doing a good job and they help me, and I'm in a mentorship thing and whatever. It's the alternate route if you look it up. So I have to take classes for that, and I'm starting them this summer. So I will be a little bit busy with that, but I'm also excited about it because I like being in school. So I'm excited to start that program. I believe I start in a few weeks. I haven't heard anything. I did register, and I think I start like June 15th. So we'll see. But yeah, so I will be taking classes for school. And then another category for my summer bucket list is I want to give back to the community. I know I mentioned the self-care Sundays, which I definitely want to do, but I also just want to host more things, and it really depends on how I'm feeling with my ACL, but like before the ACL thing happened, I was already thinking about the summer and hosting free workout classes at the beach, hosting stretch classes, hosting things like that to build connections and build community with like-minded people. I love events like that. I love predominantly female events where we come together and we take a class, we talk about self-care, we talk about different habits. Like, I just think that's so fun, and that's one of my biggest passions. So I would love to do that this summer, depending on my physical fitness. Obviously, like right now, I don't think I could host a class right now, but maybe in July I probably could. So we'll see. I want to see how I'm feeling with my knee and everything, but hopefully by this summer I can do that because that's just really fun. I did that a little bit in college and I liked it. So I want to do more of that because I think that that would be really, really fun. And then along with that is just more networking and more speaking engagements. I've done a few really fun speaking engagements just through word of mouth that people have connected with me, where I go to different companies and speak about wellness practices, corporate wellness, different things that you can do to live a healthier and better life. And I love doing that. Like, I love doing speaking engagements. I love speaking to different people and sharing what I do, sharing what other people do, listening to them share what they do, answering questions. As a trainer and nutritionist, people have a lot of questions about health and wellness, and I love being someone that people can come to for that. So I just want to do more of that. I want to collaborate with more people. I want to network more and just put myself out there more, because I feel like now that I'm not in the wellness space for my job, I've kind of lost that networking. And I really want to build that back because that's a huge passion of mine, is speaking and collaborating and sharing and all that kind of stuff. So that's a huge goal of mine, personal goal. And then the last topic that I want to talk about is drinking. And I didn't talk about this on the podcast because I just did it for myself. I didn't do it for anyone else. But I want to share it now because I really enjoyed when I did it. Recently, I went 8 weeks, no drinking, no alcohol. And I didn't do it with the intentions of doing it for 8 weeks. It just kind of happened like that. I just started saying to myself, you know, if I don't want to have a drink, I'm not going to have a drink. And it ended up being for 8 weeks. And I felt so good doing it. What led me to doing it, there was a few reasons. One being my ACL. I just didn't want to drink while I'm trying to recover. But also, I just started to feel sluggish and moody while drinking. Alcohol makes me really, really tired. And even though I'm not a big drinker as it is, I still get very tired from drinking. And I was just tired of feeling like that. And I made an episode about the sober trends because I think that sober curiosity is very trendy right now, which I think is a good thing. And I still stand on my opinion on this. Like, if you want to drink and you're being safe and responsible, who cares? You know, as long as you're being safe and responsible and you feel fine. I think that there are benefits to socializing. Of course, alcohol itself is not healthy by any means, but it is fun to socialize, and I don't want you to feel like judged for doing that. However, if you don't want to drink, don't drink. Like, that's really my opinion on all of this. And recently, I've just been in a period where I don't really want to drink, even if I go out, even if I'm at a bar, even if I'm somewhere for someone's birthday. There are so many other alternatives, and I was kind of just like, okay, I don't want to drink. And I felt really good while doing that. And then I broke the streak. Again, because I didn't have pressure on myself to do a certain amount of time, there wasn't really a reason to not drink until the day came that I actually wanted to have a drink. And I was at an Italian restaurant with these nice Italian wines, and it was the perfect vibes, and they had the perfect stem wine glasses. And I was like, you know what? I want a glass of wine. So I had a glass of wine. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And it was great. And then after, I was tired and I was like, okay, I see why I don't like drinking. And this past weekend, I went out with my friends. We went out by the beach and I had so much fun. But I had some drinks and then I felt horrible all day today. I've been tired. I've just been not myself. I've been sluggish. And I literally had 2 drinks while we were out. And it makes me feel so tired and so sluggish. And I really don't like feeling like that. Now, I'm not saying all summer I'm not going to drink because I don't know what I'm going to do. But I do know that I really enjoyed that 8-week period where I was making mocktails or ordering mocktails or just drinking water. It was really fun, and it was like a nice cleanse. I don't like saying the word cleanse, but like a nice cleanse for me to just not drink at all. And I think this summer I definitely want to incorporate that back into my life of not drinking. Maybe not drinking the whole summer, but just not drinking all the time just because it's there. Like, just because there's alcohol at the party or just because you're at a bar doesn't mean you have to order an alcoholic drink. During the 8 weeks that I didn't drink, I learned a lot about myself and I learned a lot about just alcohol in general. First of all, no one cares if you're drinking or if you're not drinking. They might say to you like, oh, you're not drinking, but as soon as you say no, no one really cares, and that's awesome. Another thing is mocktails are so good and so fun. Most bartenders will make you a really nice mocktail if they know you're not drinking, so that's cool too. You also just save a lot of money not drinking. Between the alcoholic drinks, the Ubers, all of that adds up. I just feel better when I'm not drinking, so I want to add that back into my life, and that's a personal goal for me. I'm not saying that you need to do anything in your life. This is just me and me talking about my life, but I know that when I was not drinking, I felt a lot better. My moods were better. I wasn't as tired. Like, everything just felt better, so I don't know, I'm probably gonna incorporate that back, and I have no shame in that. I think when I was younger, I thought people cared a lot more than they do, and now I've realized maybe I just don't care what people think, but also I just don't think people care if you're drinking or if you're not drinking. And I think that kind of ties into the whole conclusion of this episode is do what makes you happy. If you want to have a drink, have a drink. If you don't want to have a drink, don't have a drink. If you want to go on a solo trip, go on a solo trip. If you don't want to go on a solo trip, don't go on a solo trip. Anything that you want to do, as long as you're safe and responsible, obviously, and it's not detrimental to you or anyone else, do it. Why are we waiting around for anyone else to do the things that we want to do? Why are we so worried about everyone else's opinions? I just want to have fun. I want to have fun this summer. I want to do things that I've been either putting off or been wanting to do that I haven't made time to do. I just want to have fun and really cater to my overall wellness needs and interests. Anything that I'm interested in, I'm just going to do it. If it's a place that I want to go, if it's an activity that I want to try, I'm just going to do it because this is the time. I am very, very excited for the summer, and I'm very excited for this hot weather and to get a tan on and just feel really good. And I hope that you are too. Definitely start thinking about your summer bucket list. What are some things that you want to try? What are some things that you've been putting off that you want to try? I want to know, what are the girls doing this summer? Let me know on the Instagram at Nerdy and Flirty Pod. I hope you have a great week, and thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.